Hey guys, so this is going to be a non-scripted, non-edited video for you guys who are supporting me on Patreon or people who are YouTube members. Basically, I want to give you guys an overview on how I really record my videos, and if you're interested, then I don't know, this is just the way I do it, so you can copy me or do whatever if you're starting your own YouTube channel or whatnot. So for each video I record that is 10 minutes long, it takes me about somewhere between 3 to 4 hours to actually get the recording done, and that includes script writing and also whatever research I need to do in order to prepare my script. And then after that, it takes me, if I do an animation for my stick figure, then it would take about maybe somewhere around 1 hour for me to actually get that done. So total, it would take about 4 to 5 hours for me to create a single 10-minute video. So yeah, usually when I'm writing my script, I actually do it differently than most other YouTubers would. I know for many other skeptic YouTube channels out there, like Vice Rhino and whatnot, I think what they do is that they they write the script from beginning to finish, from the very beginning. They would put timestamps on their for the original video so that they know exactly where to insert that part of the script. And then after they're finished writing that script, then they then go back to record everything and edit it in. I do something different in which I like to improvise a little bit more compared to them. I like to watch the video. I take the original video and I put it in the video editor, and then from there I just watch the original video. And then every time he makes a claim, I go like, oh yeah, this is a good place to cut. So that's where I would cut. And then from then, that's when I start to write the script. Of course, this is not that great because you can't really plan for, repeats and stuff for the, for later parts of the video. Like if you write the script from the very beginning, it's easy to plan everything and structure your video, but that's not really something I like to do. It does take more time, and editing can be a little bit more painful for those for that type of style. So as you guys probably know, I talk really fast in my videos, and that's generally what I tend to do when I read off a script. It's not really something I do on purpose. It's something that kind of just comes to me. I just like to talk really fast if I'm reading something, but not usually when I'm talking normally. And as you also probably noticed, I also cut out a lot of the empty spaces that are in between each of my sentences. So if I say a sentence and then I take a moment to breathe in like normal people would, then that part where I breathed in would be cut out so that the next sentence comes almost immediately afterwards. And for me, I tend to enjoy that type of style, which is why I do it. And I think it gets to the point I can talk more I can say more in a shorter period of time. So I tend to like to do that. Although I know some people say, oh, you should take a breath or something. Yeah. So I not only cut out those things, but I also re-record many segments if I'm not satisfied with it. And, this isn't just exclusive to me. I know other YouTubers also do this. But I tend to be really picky on how I sound and the way I read off certain parts of the script that makes the final cut. If I'm reading a certain part and I didn't say a word the way I want it to sound, or I didn't emphasize a word the way I wanted to, then you bet I'm going to stop and re-record and then use the better copy of that. And I'll re-record a sentence multiple times before I actually get that right. And certain sentences that have maybe a little bit of a tongue twister, or certain sentences that have words that are difficult to pronounce, those are the ones that I could repeat up to 12 or 20 times before I actually get something that I'm satisfied with. And I remember there was even a sentence from a fairly old video, but I was there for like at least 30 tries. Like I just kept re-recording that sentence over and over again. But of course, there are times in which I get it on my first try. So, it just depends on how you write the script. Sometimes I even changed my script just because I couldn't say the sentence the way I wanted it to sound. And I know that just sounds really OCD, but that's just the way I like my videos. Anyway, just to give you guys a feel for how I record my videos, here is a script that I prepared beforehand, and this isn't a script taken from any of my videos. I just kind of typed this up, and I'm going to pretend to record this, and I'm going to show you how I record this, and then at the end, I'm going to show you the final product. Hey guys, let's talk a little genetics today. Hey guys, let's talk a little genetics today. I know you guys sure love biology as much as I do. Did you know that just from 4 unique nucleotides, DNA can actually hold many hidden messages? Did you know that just from 4 unique nucleotides, DNA can hold many? Did you know that just from 4 unique nucleotides, DNA can actually hold many hidden messages? There are so many things to figure out just from analyzing the pattern of DNA. For example, you could figure out the location of the origin of replication by analyzing the compositions of C's. For example, you could figure out the location of the origin of replication by analyzing the composition of C's and G's. Take a look at this diagram. Due to the nature of DNA replication, one strand on each side of replication is the leading strand, while one is reverse. Because DNA polymerase only travels in the 5' to 3' direction. Because DNA polymerase only travels in the 5' to 3' direction. As a result, the lagging strand spends more time in single-strand form and thus undergoes more deamination, which is a type of mutation. The leading strand ends up having more C's while the lagging more G's. So if we use an algorithm to scan the DNA and keeps track of the number of C's and G's, we can reasonably estimate where the origin of replication is. Okay, yeah, so as you can see, I made quite a few mistakes that time, but worry not, they will all be cut out soon. Alright, so here's the final product. Hey guys, let's talk a little genetics today. I know you guys sure love biology as much as I do. Did you know that just from 4 unique nucleotides, DNA can actually hold many hidden messages? There are so many things to figure out just from analyzing the pattern of DNA. For example, you could figure out the location of the origin of replication by analyzing the composition of C's and G's. Take a look at this diagram. Due to the nature of DNA replication, one strand on each side of replication is the leading strand, while one is reverse. Because DNA polymerase only travels in the 5' to 3' direction. As a result, the lagging strand spends more time in single-strand form and thus undergoes more deamination, which is a type of mutation. The leading strand ends up having more C's while the lagging more G's. So if we use an algorithm to scan the DNA and keeps track of the number of C's and G's, we can reasonably estimate where the origin of replication is. Alright guys, so there you have it. Obviously after I record, I would go back and listen to it, and then if there's anything that still needs to be changed, I would re-record some parts. Like, for example, there was one part in the script where I was saying one of the strands was leading and one of them was reverse. Well, actually, I should have said one was leading and one was lagging. So that's one of the examples in which I would go back and re-record that one part and then re-edit it so that it goes back in there and flows smoothly. So yeah, I hope you guys got a good idea on how I actually record my videos. Obviously, this probably isn't the most efficient way for me to do it, and sometimes I do get way too picky on how I sound in certain parts of the script, but, you know, that's just me being OCD. So yeah, have a good day, guys.